Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today's video is going to be all about my best books of 2024, that yes pile, and then also we have some honourable mentions in here as well. So yes, I read 44 books last year, which for me is quite impressive. That's the most books I've read in 1 year in my entire adult life, so I'm quite happy about that. This year I'm not entirely sure how many books I plan to read. I mean, my absolute goal would be 52. So far definitely not on track to do that, but it doesn't matter anyway. As long as I read some really good books, that's all that matters. So first of all, I'm going to share the honourable mentions. So the first book is Sugar Baby by Celine St. Clair. I gave this a 5 stars. This is your typical super sexy, rompy, gritty literary fiction novel. This is about a 21-year-old girl called Agnes who is kind of down on her luck. She's a cleaner. She works with her mother and they set up a cleaning company, and she cleans a client's home, and the daughter is actually a sugar baby, and she kind of falls into the sugar baby space that way, and yeah, chaos ensues. So this is really good. This is a real page turner, really quick. It got me out of a slump. If you want like a good representation of like being in your 20s, going out, nights out and stuff like that, living with flatmates, that kind of messy early 20s, don't know what you're doing, don't know if you're coming or going sort of thing, you would really enjoy this. I read this in about 2 days, so yeah, really good page turner, and yeah, highly recommend it. The next book I've got is Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reid, and yeah, this is an absolute gem. So we follow Amira, who is a broke nanny. She's 25, and the plot is mainly that Amira is babysitting the kids that she usually babysits, who are white, and Amira is black, by the way, and she takes them to the supermarket, and someone calls the police on her because they thought that she kidnapped the baby, because they obviously can't believe that a black woman is looking after a white baby. So yeah, absolute outrage. It's in a very well-to-do area, and yeah, just chaos ensues. This is really good. This is a really good book about morals. It's very thought-provoking, great topics on race, and just like a very good coming of age story. I do have Come and Get It by Kylie Reid. I haven't heard such great things about that, but I will probably still read it. But yeah, this was definitely had to make it on my list. So the next book I've got is Hiding Him by Adam Hatton, and just a disclaimer, I did do some paid work for this book. However, all opinions are my own, of course, and I actually really loved this book. It was brilliant. So this got me out of a slump. This is a queer YA romance novel about Cam and Finn, and it's set in school, so high school, sixth form to be exact. It follows, yeah, their Cam and Finn's love story. It's a great representation of coming out, and it's if you like Heartstopper, very similar to that, very familiar, just very wholesome. Banter is unmatched, quite filthy in some places, but I quite like that because I thought, oh, YA might be a bit too like cutesy and safe. It isn't. It's really funny. I do have a reading vlog if you want to watch it. Some great one-liners in here and a pleasant surprise. So yeah, thoroughly enjoyed this one. My last honourable mention is Happy Place by Emily Henry, the queen of romance herself. So this is such a great rom-com about Harriet and Wyn. They were in a relationship for 10 years but sadly split up, but no one in their friendship circle knows. They're keeping it a secret because every year they and their college friends take an annual trip to one of the college friends' houses, a beach home, but unfortunately this is the last trip unbeknownst to them because the family are selling the home. So they decide to keep the peace and, you know, save face and pretend that they are still a couple. And this is just so lovely. It's literally a warm hug in a book. It's set in a beautiful setting. I think it's like kind of like Maine, around that kind of way, which I would love to go and visit one day. Yeah, it's just got kind of that like seaside kind of town. I'm sure it's set around there. I'm going to really embarrass myself if it isn't. The friendships, oh my god, the betrayal friendships in this is amazing. It really reminds me of my uni friends, and just that absolute closeness, that bond, that unbreakable bond that you get when you live with these people, you're studying with these people, you're going on nights out and coming back home and eating pizza at 3 o'clock in the morning, chatting absolute shit, and just like having those cherished memories. This, I really felt like the friendships were so believable, and I think I probably preferred the friendships to the actual romance in this book. I did love the romance, and it's second chance romance, so I do like that. But yeah, I had to mention this. So in no particular order, we have got I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Hartman. This was incredibly eerie, dark, mysterious sci-fi novel about 39 or 40 women trapped underground in like a bunker cage style. Don't know how they got there. Amongst the women, there's one girl, we don't know who she is, we don't know her name, but she is the only person in there who doesn't know what life was like on the outside, and all she's ever known is growing up in this little cage, this bunker. And it is just amazing. Like, it's so good. This had me laying down on my bed when I finished it thinking, what the did I just read? It's phenomenal. This, I know, is quite an old book. I think it came out in the 90s, but this has had a bit of a resurgence over the last couple of years, I think. Heard nothing but great things about it, and I'm also adding on to that. This was fantastic, really good. I think it's definitely something that you have to read. Yeah, if you really like those eerie, thought-provoking novels, which is going to leave like a lasting impression on you, definitely read this one. Next book we've got is Maya Ariel, When I Think of You, and this was such a beautiful second chance romance. The chemistry in this was amazing. So this follows Kalia Wilson, who is a film student, was a film student, and she's now working as a receptionist in a film studio. And along comes her ex-flame, Danny Prescott, who is very well-to-do family, very opulent family, and he is going to be a film director, and he comes to her to see if she wants to help him produce it. And just very, yeah, the vibes start from there. This is set in a very glitzy background, Hollywood, movies, premieres, all that stuff. Not too much of it, but that's kind of like the background. And yeah, the chemistry, the spice was really good. This was probably my best romance of the year, I want to say. I really loved this. I was thoroughly surprised, and yeah, I want to read a lot more from Maya Ariel. If you love Kennedy Ryan, you would love this. Right, next book. Everybody who watches this channel knows how much I love this book. This is Tomorrow, Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. Again, another unexpected one. I'd heard so many things about it. This was phenomenal. This is, take it from anything from this list, please read this one if you haven't. If you into games and stuff, you would love it. So this is like a love story, but it's not actually about romance. So we follow Sam and Sadie. They're best friends from when they were young, when they meet in a hospital and bond over, I think it might be Super Mario, but they bond in the games room. And their children, and then we follow them through the decades. They build a gaming company, they build games together, and just so many life things happen. This has got great illness rep, romance, but in a kind of different way, like a kind of dark romance, grief and loss, and oh my gosh, the emotional roller coaster. I love the business side of this as well, and like kind of the documentary side as well, where it kind of fast forwards to kind of after their success and how they are now and stuff. This is a journey. I sobbed so much when I read this. It is absolutely amazing. Set in the 90s and obviously carries on, and it's just, yeah, like it says on here, John Green, one of the best books I've ever read. I absolutely agree. Yeah, I'm so glad I've read this, because I always think about it and I just think about the characters, and oh my gosh, I'm actually like, but yeah, I've heard they're making this into a film, so I can't wait to watch that when it comes out. Next book we got, this is For My Black British Babe. So this is For Such a Time as This by Shani Akila. This is amazing. If you're from the diaspora, you love those stories, you would love this. This is a short story collection of a group of Black British friends set in London, and they are interconnected. Stories about love and loss and pain and grief and marriage and dating, romances, workplaces, but you've also got your underlying themes in there. Imposter syndromes, your code switching, your like obviously things about race and the diaspora, like I said. This is amazing. If you loved Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo, you would love this. I believe Shania Keeler was mentored by Bernardine Evaristo, so you can definitely see like the influence there. I can't wait to see if she has anything else out which is coming out, because I will be buying. But yeah, this was a pleasant surprise as well, and I absolutely adored it. This was brilliant. Right, let me take a sip for this one because I love this book so much. A recent one which I finished towards the tail end of last year. This is Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver. This is a masterpiece of work. Like, this is phenomenal, amazing, brilliant. So this follows a little boy called Damon, but everyone calls him Demon, and he is born to a drug addict teenage mother. Just from a young age, we just follow him and watch how he is literally thrust into the world of responsibility and adulthood from a very, very, very young age. This is set in the Appalachian Mountains of Virginia, so this covers a lot of child poverty and just poverty as a whole. This also, as the mother is a drug addict, this touches on the opioid crisis in the US and just in general the medical system, the US healthcare system, and the foster care system as well. This is phenomenal. This is based off Charles Dickens' novel David Copperfield. Very, very closely linked. You can see the influences from there. I haven't read that book, but I read a summary and it's literally very close. Love this book, love the characters, the narrative, the plot, the character development. It is brilliant. This is with Tomorrow best books, 100%. They are my top 5 best books of the year, like 100%. Next one we've got is Sorrow and Bliss by Meg Mason. You know how much I loved this book. This is a phenomenal representation and portrayal of mental health and how it can just wreak havoc on your life. So we follow Martha, who is I don't know how old she was actually. It follows her life. So, and she's married to her husband Patrick. All her life she's just known that something's been wrong with her, but she doesn't quite know what it is. This is just, like I said, a beautiful portrayal of mental health, and this just follows her journey through her life and how her mental health is just kind of touches and destroys, kind of, if you will, every point of her life and how she comes back from that. Loved it. Very poignant. Was in tears when I read this. Heartbreaking. Really, really good. This would probably be my honourable mentions. I don't know if it is best books, but maybe flittering between the two. So this is Boy Parts by Eliza Clark. Again, a very unexpected read for me. I wasn't sure what I thought about it when I finished it, but I bumped it up to a 4 because I think it was sitting at like a 3.5. Bumped it up to a 4 because I kept thinking about it, and you know what, it might even be 4.5 now. This was a pleasant surprise. It was really, really good. It was very, like I said, unexpected, psychotic, like hallucinogenic, I think that's how you say it. Very like lucid dreams, fever dreams kind of thing. Very weird. So we follow Irina, who lives in Newcastle, and she takes like really weird, explicit photographs of men that she finds like out and about on the bus and stuff like that. I didn't, from what happens after that, you're just like, what the hell? Like, this is just a mind, this is just brilliant, and it's made me want to read her other work, so Penance and She's Always Hungry, which is a short story collection. Yeah, she's just a very, very weird author in a good way. It says here, exploring the taboo regions of sexuality and gender roles. I would definitely say shocking. It's so funny. This touches on class as well, which is, you know, a very prominent subject here in the UK. But yeah, it's if you haven't read it and you like the weird stuff, I would recommend it. Next, we've got Cocomella's best novel, in my opinion, Cleopatra and Frankenstein. This is lovely. Loved this. Yeah, as you can see, this is tabbed up to the gods. But this is set in New York, and we follow Cleo, who's just like a messy, chaotic party goer. She's a student, and she bumps into Frank, who is 20 years older than her, and he's like a successful businessman, and she needs to renew her green card. They agree to get married, and we just follow their relationship and their marriage, their chaotic, tumultuous ride of a marriage. This is brilliant. It's so good. Like, there's so many side characters in this as well, and side plots and stuff. I I think it took her 6 or 7 years to write this, and I can see why. It is brilliant. I love that it touches on so many hard topics in here, like addiction and grief, suicide, loss, mental health, very much so, the hardships of relationships, and it's just so bloody good. And yeah, when I did read Blue Sisters last year, and I liked it, and I got through it really quickly, but you cannot beat this one. You cannot beat this one. So yeah, if you're debating whether to read Blue Sisters or Cleopatra and Frankenstein, take it from me, read this one. Thank you. Next, we've got The Virgin Suicides by Jeffrey Eugenides. Again, this one was a very surprising, unexpected read for me. Follow the 5 Lisbon sisters, very beautiful girls. We follow them, and unfortunately all of them commit suicide in the home that they're living in, and we don't know why. And this follows the narrative of the boys in the neighbourhood, so in like the cul-de-sac or the street where they lived, the boys that would watch on them, because it seems like in this book no one really cared about the Lisbon sisters. They were very isolated, and the boys really cared for them. And yeah, this is told from their perspectives, which is really good. I know some of the writing I've heard has been a little bit controversial, but I really enjoyed it. This is definitely a classic to read. Very heartbreaking, very dark in some places, and just overall sad and so moving. You have to read it, like you have to. And yeah, I'm so glad I did. You guys have said that the film is really good, so I will definitely be watching the film. I believe Kirsten Dunst is in it, so yeah, I'll be reading that. I'll be watching that. And the last book on my best books of 2024 is Daisy Jones and the Six. This was brilliant. This was unexpected. So many people said this was great, and they were absolutely right. So this follows Daisy Jones. She had a very tumultuous childhood, very chaotic, very vibrant, shall we say, in the 60s. And then you've got the Six, who are a separate band, and eventually they come together and make their band. So this is all about the band, behind the scenes, how they go on tour, how they write songs, and just like the tension between them that builds, relationships, addictions, infidelity, finances like fortune and stuff like that, and just fame. It's brilliant. It's told in like a documentary style. Definitely recommend listening to it rather than reading it, or doing both. It's so good how it does that, and yeah, I thoroughly loved it. Don't think I'll be watching the series because I haven't heard great things, but the book is phenomenal, and I definitely want to read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo because of this, and Kerry Soto is back. Great, so those are all my top books of 2024 and some honourable mentions in there. Please let me know if any of these you love, and any that you think, any recommendations are from these books. And yeah, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing and sticking around. If you haven't subscribed, feel free to, or not, it doesn't really matter. I'm sure I'll see you on the internet somewhere. So thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you in the next video.